In the early years following the publication of Wellhausen's critical conclusions, the traditional Jewish community remained largely silent, as few were engaged in biblical research. Those few who did hold their ground found themselves facing an entire establishment that had embraced Wellhausen's method without question. The critics casting doubt on figures like Ezra and Nehemiah, labeling them as forgers, directly contradicted traditional values, leading many to dismiss the entire criticism theory. The first significant response came from Rabbi Dr. David Zvi Hoffman, head of the Berlin Rabbinical Seminary. In his book Decisive Proofs Against Wellhausen, Hoffman scientifically and objectively addressed most of the critical claims of his time. His approach was noted for its rigor and balance, focusing on countering Wellhausen's hypotheses with solid arguments and evidence. The journey of biblical criticism is marked by various scholars who brought their unique perspectives. From Hermann Hupfeld's critical analysis to the passionate acceptance of criticism's foundations by figures like Abraham Geiger, each scholar contributed to the evolving landscape of biblical scholarship. However, it's crucial to note that the contributions of Jewish historians during this era were not significantly impactful in resolving the questions raised by biblical criticism. The subsequent episodes will provide a concise summary of the refutation of the Wellhausen hypothesis, dissecting its four foundational parts. 1. Source identification, examining the flawed approach to distinguishing sources in biblical texts and the misconceptions in the style analysis used in their separation. 2. Source relationship, addressing the neglect of ancient sources and the reliance on arbitrary assumptions in determining the relationship between various sources. 3. Dating of sources, debunking the baseless assumptions used to date the sources and questioning the perceived lateness of certain texts like Leviticus. We will also explore the monumental work of Prof. Yehezkel Kaufman and Prof. Moshe David Cassuto, who, through their research at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, provided new methodologies and arguments that significantly influenced modern biblical criticism. Despite initial resistance, their arguments were eventually recognized and accepted, marking a pivotal shift in biblical scholarship. This episode is a journey through time, tracing the evolution of biblical criticism from Wellhausen's era to the modern day. Join us as we explore how the Wellhausen hypothesis has been challenged, reshaped, and understood in the light of contemporary research, contributing to our ever-growing understanding of the Bible and its history.